Okay.
I'm sorry.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Turning Pages, and our guest is Miss Dorothy Harris. We are here with the host, Cavette, co-host myself, Let's Talk with Carolyn, and also Miss Kiana of Healthy Tea Talk. Hello, everyone.
I had that in my notes.
You had it in your notes?
And I didn't say it.
Why? First of all, I have it in your notes.
Because I do this once a month. Y'all be on the radio way more than me. So y'all used to saying everything y'all say. I know I'm live talking on the radio. Y'all do this once a month. We having a conversation, right? Y'all do this. I do this once a month, right? So my nerves be bad. And then Mark be having me engineering. So I don't
It'd be too much going on at one time.
Girl,
Okay.
my nerves be bad. So I had to put it all in my notes. Look, Kiana of Healthy. Listen, I put it all in there.
Chalk it up to that.
Yeah, chalk. It is chalked up to that. Every X mark. Every time, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep, every month I have it written out. That's why I say I need somebody to engineer my show. Hint, hint, hint. Anybody that wants to be an intern, food might be involved. If food might be involved, if you want to engineer.
Everybody's eyes got so big. Because your eyes got so big. Your eyes like this.
Food can be involved. So
And then she over here with the side comment. Everybody got excited.
Listen, I need an engineer. That would be great. Anyway, we're back. We're back with Dot talking about her book, Crown.
I'll
Go ahead.
do your show for you.
I was about to say, I can engineer from my house.
What you want to eat, pumpkin?
I'm here Monday anyway.
Yeah, you are. Later in the evening, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well. So you co-host.
One more step up.
I mean, you're gonna be sitting right there. You might as well. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So anyway, we're back with Dot, and she's talking about her book, Crown. This is so interesting.
Yes.
So we're gonna get Dot to read a portion of her book to the listeners, so we can get a feel for what's actually really going on.
Miss that?
We waiting. You wrote it.
I feel like I'm on a spot now.
You are. You are. It's all about you. It's 6:30. All right.
Usa. Like I was not whole and healed for my parents. So I even ruined my marriage. She was the only one who came close to loving me like my grandma. My marriage failed, and everyone that was once close was now gone. I stopped going to church and reading my Bible. I was hurting so bad, and I wanted someone to be there for me. I wanted someone to just look at me and see that something was going on, but no one did. No one fought for me. I chose to self-medicate, and alcohol was my drug of choice. I did not drink every day, but when I was feeling sad or depressed, I could drink an entire bottle. I was a mess and seeking deep into an abyss that only God could bring me out of. I was so unhappy. When I got drunk, a different person showed up. I was hurting and wanted others to hurt as well. I was lonely and desperate, but I still craved love. I would have accepted love by any means necessary. I even lowered my standards.
Awesome. I'm gonna let y'all get questions because I got a lot of questions in there. I need to skim through this myself. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead real quick because I got a question.
Okay. Go ahead, Kian.
Go ahead, Miss Carol. All right, you. Because I'll be looking at facial expressions and
you ready?
Ready.
Okay. When you mentioned that you went to the bottom on a regular basis.
That make me cry up in here. Jesus.
No, we don't want you crying. It's all about you, though.
I guess I'm not healed then. Huh?
You healed.
Go ahead.
When you turned to what you thought was a solution.
No, I turned to something that I thought that would numb the pain. I didn't have to think about it when I was drunk.
Okay, but once you sobered up, that pain was still there.
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide that the alcohol was not it?
I just decided that this year.
Okay.
That the alcohol wasn't it.
That's a good question because that's part of my question.
It took for me to pray. My mom was an alcoholic, my dad was an alcoholic. A lot of people around me was alcoholics. And it took me to pray that off of me. Because I was the type of drunk that I can't have one or two. If I bought a $40 bottle, we gonna sit there and drink that whole $40 bottle.
Okay.
If we bought the $80 bottle, we gonna sit there and drink the whole $80 bottle. I didn't know how to stop. And I knew it wasn't good for me, and it had embarrassed me. Being drunk had embarrassed me.
Okay.
So it was that embarrassment that made me realize that it was time, and it wasn't doing me no good.
Okay.
So the embarrassment was the first step.
The embarrassment is what made. I've been embarrassed a lot of times, but then I had embarrassed myself to a stranger.
Okay.
Because I was drunk.
Right.
And that was like, no, it's time to stop drinking.
Okay. And I don't want to talk about my book really, but like in my book, I talk about like people want to know when you get healed, what's the first step you take in getting healed?
Admitting that you need it.
Right. So, but something had to slap you in your face. Well, for me, something slapped me in my face before I decided that I needed to be healed. And I speak in my book how I went to the doctor. And, when you go to the doctor, even if you just go to your primary care doctor, nowadays, especially with me being a vet, at the VA, the first question they ask you is, have you thought about harming yourself? So that was my first reality. So what was your first reality? You said it was being embarrassed. Because you
with the
drinking.
Right. With the drinking, it was the embarrassment that came with it.
Right. And so that was.
I done embarrassed myself plenty of times.
Right.
I done called my pastor and first lady out the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, drunk on the highway, New Year's Eve, literally about to go to jail because I'm cussing the cop out, drunk.
Made my sister call him for.
I made my sister pull over. My sister pull over. My sister and my ex-fiance on the highway, literally. We in the middle of the highway. They drunk, out my mind. Called them to come get me because I didn't feel safe in the car with my sister and my fiance. Because they left me. In my mind, they left me. So being drunk, it was like drinking was not the answer. Plus the hangover.
Right.
And it's expensive.
Right. So I don't want to get too deep in your book, but I see some things that I can like discuss because you said he was the only one who came close to loving me like my grandma.
That's what I thought.
The healing, in your healing, did you deal with abandonment issues?
Oh man, yes.
Okay.
Still do.
Okay. Because I was about to say that's part of
that was my father's. My grandma had 3 sons, and out of her 3 boys, my father was the only boy that had a child, and my father wanted a boy, but I just so happened to be a girl. So I dealt with abandonment issues from my father as well as my mother.
And then when you lost your grandma, and then when you lost your uncle,
then I lost my uncle. Then if you read the book, you'll find out there's more people I lost.
Right.
And more people I'm still losing, but
Okay. So how do you deal with abandonment? How would you tell somebody to deal with?
Oh man, how do I deal with it? Yeah. How did I used to deal with it?
How you used to deal with it was drinking. So you
drinking and shopping,
right.
Honey.
Listen.
Drinking and shopping and inviting everybody over.
Right.
And having a party. When I'm feeling bad, feeling bad, if I'm feeling really bad, I do something nice to somebody else. Okay. Because seeing others happy makes me happy.
Right.
Like, so how did I don't know. Shopping.
Is that how you do it in there?
Doing for others, yeah. Taking care of everybody else.
That helps you deal with abandonment issues.
Yes. But it's more so now I'm realizing that my counselor told me that it's not, in my mind it was helping. But in reality, it didn't really help.
It just masked it.
It just masked it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you're talking about making yourself feel better by taking care of everybody else, right? Do you feel good when you take care of yourself? And do you take care of yourself, like self-care?
I do. I mean, of course I take. You don't see my hair be every 2 weeks, honey. Self-care, yeah, but no, that's not true. Because just because I do all this doesn't mean I love myself or self-care for myself. And then I'm learning how to self-care and self-love myself. Because to me, I was loving myself, but in reality, I wasn't loving myself because a person that loved themselves set boundaries. And I have no boundaries in my life to nobody in my like friends, sister, nobody. There's no boundaries. And now that I know with counseling and doing the boundary book, boundaries are good. So if I love myself, I'm going to say no even when I don't want to. Like even when I want to say yes, but I know I need to say no. Like I'm that type of person. Hint, that's why we're here tonight. I'm the type of person I have to keep my word, because one thing about me is I'm loyal, and I'm going to keep my word as best as I can. You know what I mean? And that's I'm loyal by default, and I don't like to let people down. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That's my character. So yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Ms. Carol, you got something to say?
I do.
Go ahead. Cause you were sitting there like, oh, I got something to say.
It's
Yeah,
written on her
Right,
face.
right,
Believe her,
yes,
yes.
yes.
You know, my students
Yes.
say the same thing, and that's how I hide it, but I can't.
Yeah. You don't have a poker face, Miss Carol.
No.
You like me. My first lady tells me, she said, if you don't fix your face, because she could tell, she'd be like, it's all in your face, God. I'm like, what I do? She fix your face. And I don't even know that my face is scrounged up or anything. And I'm just looking at you, but she said, it's always all in your face. So I gotta work on face expressions.
Today.
Mhm.
How long ago did you write this book?
That just came out this year. I got it the day of my birthday, June 29th.
Okay. So take from June 29th
Mhm.
to current day.
Mhm.
How does Dot feel here?
That feels like she's definitely on her way to wholeness.
Okay.
That feels like I never try to play the victim, but I feel like more so now that I'm more victorious because I'm taking what I learned and I'm applying it to my life. Like the old Dot would have just been dating anybody. Like I just want to be in love. Just love me. I don't care what you got, what you don't got. I got it. Come on, we're gonna be happy together. The new Dot, HE double hockey sticks now. My standards has raised so much. My self-esteem has raised a lot. Yeah. So that's
The
what I'm
writing of these 7 pages, has that lifted your self-esteem? Because you actually put your soul on paper for the world to
To
read.
No, it didn't. Writing this didn't lift my self-esteem. Writing that kind of was my apology to God,
Okay.
more so, because I blame him for everything. Even, not to go into it, but even with me being in a wheelchair, I wasn't born in a wheelchair. I went in to have a baby and didn't walk back out at 17. So writing that was the beginning of my apology to God, because I had blamed him for everything wrong that has ever happened to me. If you are God, how could you seen what I went through? If you are God, how could you continuously let me keep doing this or keep getting hurt or keep allowing people to hurt me? Like I was mad at God. Like even now, like I haven't been back in the church because I was mad at God. But he's rebuilding and reshaping and restoring not just my soul, but my relationship and trust in him. If you ask me what I trust God, what I have the most trouble with trusting God for, most people say money and bills. I don't have to know. My issue was a man. I didn't trust God to supply my husband. So I went out there. My husband was fine though, but I went out there and I married somebody I knew I shouldn't have married because I didn't trust God's timing. Because so many times in my mind, he has let me down. But in reality, he really didn't, because everything I had been through was the bomb in Gilead. It has just made me stronger.
Okay.
And then God gives us choices. He allows us to make our own choices. And so the choices we make.
Well, I didn't choose to get raped. I didn't choose to get beat. I didn't choose to get molested. I didn't choose to walk into that hospital and not walk out. I didn't choose to be a 17-year-old mother. I didn't choose none of them. They choices, they was not my choice. So when I say.
So that's why you were mad at God.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And so the passion that you just had right there, are you still mad at God?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, when you say God give us choices, yes, I guess you was talking about my marriage.
Yeah, I was talking about marriage.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I didn't choose all them things.
Yeah.
Things
See, because you never
happened.
brought all that other stuff out before, so all we know is the marriage.
No,
And your
no,
relationship.
no.
No, you ain't say all of that. So I'm speaking from what you
No,
said.
we can talk about the wheelchairs. I just
Oh, yeah.
assumed that.
No, you ain't make the choice.
Yeah,
to be
that's
in a
what I'm
wheelchair.
saying. Yeah, so I didn't choose them
Yeah.
things, but this is the thing. I will say this about the wheelchair. I'm not the baddest, and I wasn't the baddest, but I did fight a lot. If it wasn't for what had happened to me, I would be dead or in there, literally. Like,
Right.
And like my kids don't even know this. I just shared this with somebody. The day I had my son, that night I was telling my cousin Bonnie, I can't wait to get home so I could beat such and such up. Now I just had a baby, and I'm walking, and the only thing on my mind is getting out the hospital because somebody disrespected me while I was pregnant, and they wouldn't let me finish beating her up while I was pregnant. So I just wanted to get home so I could finish whooping. You know what I mean? So that mindset was like, really? Instead of you loving on your baby, you just want to go hurt this person because of what they did to you and your family. So I thank God now because it saved my life. This wheelchair literally saved my life. But that's in a beautiful mess.
What's a beautiful mess?
I
The
know.
book this is just the introduction. A Beautiful Mess is the book that comes after this.
Okay, so there's a second book.
Well, this is just the introduction.
Introduction to a beautiful mess.
So that's a prelude to the book.
Yeah, the great thing exactly.
I had a
Beautiful
quick
Mess
question.
with everybody.
Oh no, that's just me.
Okay.
I had a quick question about, you said that you went to counseling.
I still go to counseling.
Okay.
Got out the refresh counseling
Okay.
services.
Yeah. Therapy is, listen, I'm all for therapy.
Yeah.
But I think my question is, how do you know, sometimes the church doesn't feel like therapy is necessary. I mean, it's coming in the church now. People are believing it, thinking it's
I
good.
go to a Christian counselor.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how what do you say about that to people that think that, you know, we may not need therapy because
That's
we
a
got
lie.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay.
God says.
Oh, I know. Don't tell me. I know.
It's covering in the multitude of counseling. And that's the assembling of your brothers, the assembly of your brothers and sisters. That's what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Being around like-minded people who can help you through these things. But this is what happens, right? We don't want to, and I say this every time I promote Yvette in them show. We come from the era where we just sweep stuff under the rug. And we don't deal with it. And I believe the black generation literally needs, the black whole needs to sit down and talk, because a lot of these families are messed up because they don't know how to talk or communicate, and they're harboring and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the women and a lot of more so the men, but the men ain't gonna, like I just did a PSA. Why not every five men kill themselves? Why? Because they're depressed, but they refuse to go and talk about this because it's taboo in the black community. No, y'all look, y'all go get y'all some help. Is it saying on Facebook? I would rather you tell me your problems than me be reading your obituary.
I just posted something today.
We need help. We need counseling. We need to talk to them.
On one of my shows, I talked about depression from the male point of view. And men on a large scale, whether they black, white, green, blue, I don't care what color they are, they're men. And they don't talk about depression. They hide it. So it was this one male I got to actually come out and talk about depression. What caused it? What was the root of it? What was the seed of it? How did you overcome it? This person tried to commit suicide twice. And they did get help. They did get help, but it was hard. And they go to the bottle too. This one went to the bottle was a functional alcoholic.
I know a lot of them.
Yeah, me too.
That's how
people do. They mask the pain and deal with it.
And survive until he was able to get help. I posted it on YouTube. Some random men saw it and said thank you, because this topic is not talked enough when it comes to men, to us. So I get what you're saying. I definitely understand.
That's what you say. I lived with it for 19 years, lived with somebody, and when you say you know you can go get help, you can sit down, you can talk to somebody, the response was, can't nobody tell me nothing that I don't already know about myself. That was the response that I always got. And I'm like, what?
And the thing is, we need more our color skin and step up and go to school and get the credentials that's needed for this, because I'm the type of person, I would rather deal with somebody that has experience and book knowledge versus just book knowledge. Like, you just went to school and learned about this. You don't have no experience with this, so how could you really help me? You can't like, all right, prime example. They put us all in a classroom and expected us all to learn the same way, and we all don't learn the same way. So you went to school and you learned this, but you have no experience with it.
Experience for what?
With depression or with like I'm saying I would rather have somebody who has both experience with it as well as book knowledge versus just book knowledge. Prime example, I was just seeing a Christian counselor and behavioral health specialist. The behavioral health specialist didn't do nothing for me, but I gotta pay you all this money to come and see you for it.
I mean, I guess that's to each his own, because
I'm
there.
going to commercial break.
Yeah.
Before we go to commercial.
No, we'll take a commercial break. We'll come back.
Take us out.
We'll take us out. We'll be right back with Dot with her book Crown.
We done left Crown. We finished with
Yeah,
Crown.
we talking-
We don't know. We talking about depression now, Lord. We want a whole other subject.
It's so good. It's so good. People need it.
Y'all stay alive.
Still love on YouTube.
Y'all stay alive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we about to be done, right? And it's almost 7:30.
Almost.
Look, I'm gonna get out of here.
Why you rushing and you a couple? You
I'm
the husband
gonna
of the
stay
show.
on
I
YouTube.
thought it was over at 8. Why did I think it was over at 8?
The hour or the hour.
You staying live on YouTube?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
people
like
hear our
everybody else
conversation and everything. Everybody else too? And y'all just be talking?
Yeah.
They just be literally talking.
You
don't watch none of the shows.
I don't watch nobody's show.
I
Not even
see.
my own. I don't watch nobody's. I'm not gonna tell you a lie that I do. I don't even watch my own show.
Because you was doing to the show, right?
That
That was a
don't work no
whole
more.
move
That's
right
like
there.
That was a
That's
whole.
old.
Yes, yes.
You can't even use that anymore.
That's not
It's
even
like 2
excuse
months
about I don't
in.
watch everybody else's
No, I'm talking about.
I just don't. I just don't.
Yes, sir.
Let me get on the radio. I'm definitely not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get on the app because I hate that thing when I can't cut it off. I'm like, how do I cut this off? My phone be doing all kinds of stuff and it still be talking. I'm like,
Oh,
what's
Lord, can
going
you
on?
do that for
I don't
me?
know how to do that.
Because I still can't listen. I tried to turn my TV off last
And I'm gonna
night.
tell you the truth. In my healing process, there are certain things I can put in my ear. I don't want to hear everybody's show. Like I don't want to hear talk shows. If I'm on YouTube, I need to listen to something motivational because it works for me. You know what I mean? I have boundaries on what I want to hear, and what I don't want to hear.
Yeah,
So I
got
just
it.
don't. And then even before, like when I first came back from Alaska and came to Sadior, I didn't want to hear those shows because I was depressed myself. I want to hear nothing about nothing nobody's talking about. I wanted to do
I
what
gotta
wanted
listen to
do in
me
my-
and man show.
I want to listen to y'all show because y'all crazy. They might have me jumping off a bridge. Hello? No, I'm just joking. But I'm just saying, so yeah, it's been, and so I started not listening to it. So I never just said, oh, I'm gonna just listen to somebody's show. Because I don't know what people's shows about. I don't.
Well, I had to work.
Because everybody's
That's funny
show
you
is
said that
like,
though. Jimmy said that. Jimmy
everybody's
said that
show,
about a couple
they,
shows.
some people's
Like,
show
look,
have
I
a
don't wanna
theme,
hear
and some
every
people
week
show don't.
About somebody touch somebody's daughter. I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that either.
So
And I
that's
don't,
why they
like a
merged
lot of
they
people
show.
talk about relationships.
Yeah, they go into something.
I don't really want to talk about relationships.
I'll talk about none
I had
of
to
that.
heal from my own relationship. I don't know what you talk about. I don't even know what your show is.
Yes, you do.
What was Me Too?
No, stop. I open my show up with whatever meat got going on. Yes, I open my show up with only
Why?
because
Can I ask you why?
because I really want to have.
with me.
I just really want to have a business meeting with this man. He do so much for the community, and I have a
There are
business
so
plan.
many people have so much stuff in the community.
That's what everybody else say, and I don't know these people, so I am reaching out to like who the other people.
So I know Health
what's
Tea
his name?
Talk used to come on Tuesday, they come on Fridays now, right?
Yeah.
I know that. I know you come on. I know when the shows come on.
I know the basics.
Because I'm in supporter.
Huh?
I'm in supporter. That's
I
why.
support him.
I just wanted to know. I didn't know.
Support all you want. He ain't supporting you.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know if God's gonna open up that door for me.
I think he's not currently supporting you. He may open up that door for you.
I'm gonna keep supporting him
Keep
and
supporting
keep
him.
praying him, Lord, thy will be done.
Do it, God.
It's going to
Do it,
speak
Jesus.
into existence.
Cause I need my yacht, Lord.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Turning Pages. We have in the house Miss Dorothy Harris. We have the host, Miss Cavette of Turning Pages, and we have Miss Kiana of Healthy Tea Talk, and myself. Let's talk with Carolyn, and we're here with all about Miss Dot.
So we're gonna go back and
I
talking
forgot what
about
we was
therapy.
talking
I
about.
know what he's talking about. He's talking about therapy.
Oh.
But I was telling them that I don't really listen to nobody's shows. So I apologize to the whole Sadior family. I did not.
You ain't even had to do that. We wasn't even on
We was on YouTube though. We was on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So it was on there. So I want to apologize to y'all because I'll be in my bag and I'll be like, I was like hearing that. But listen to this. I swear, I'm gonna make a declaration in 2020. I'm gonna start listening to people. Maybe not the whole show, because I don't want to hear it after 2 hours. But I swear, I'm gonna start listening to your shows because we got to be, a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, and I believe in the team. I believe in Sadior. Like I always say, I believe in Mark, and I want to make the team, great. So I am gonna start listening to y'all shows. I'm gonna try like January. I might listen to everybody's show one time and see who's I like the best. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, but so we back. We're talking about therapy, and Doc said that her behavioral health specialist didn't really help her with her healing, and her Christian counselor is who helped her. So personally, for me, I have a therapist that I've been going to for about over a year now. And he's not Christian. I don't even know if he's Christian. How about that? I don't even know what his religion is. I've never asked him that. We've never engaged in that. But his key motivation is to help me come from where I was. And so he did dig to the bottom of it. Like he asked me questions that make me think about why I'm doing things the way I do them, why I think the way I think, why I was depressed, why I went through what I went through. And so he didn't have to be a Christian to do that, because I tell people all the time, and even in my book, God was not my first resort when I decided to get healed. He was not. And I have to be totally honest. That was not my first resort. I was so far from God that I didn't want people would say, pray for me. And I'd be like, I'm not going to pray for you. Literally, I would tell people I wouldn't pray for them because I was so far from God that that wasn't a thing for me. So therapy was the thing for me. The thing for me to get healed, for me to become unbroken, for me to get whole, for me to be a better person. And my counselor wasn't Christian.
And so finish though.
I'm sorry. Let me finish this story that I'm saying. I'm saying personally for me, and so I don't want people to think that because some people yeah, exactly. Because some people, some Christians think if I decide to go to therapy, they gotta be Christian. Because no, that's not true.
Before I was seeing a Christian counselor, I was seeing
that's what you said. You said he didn't help you.
The one I just had recently, didn't at all.
Okay.
She didn't help me at all. It was my Christian counselor who helped me to where though I just stopped going to therapy with the other counselor altogether because you're not helping me. I'm coming in and just talking to you, and you're not giving me no solutions. You're not giving me I'm the type of person. I'm going to be a forever student. So the way I like to learn is literally I love to read and study. Like they call me a cool nerd. But you're not giving me no solutions to my problems. You're just my best friend, and I'm just coming and venting to you. And I have had behavior specialists, behavior counselors that have worked in the past. Not saying that you just have to be a Christian counselor, but this time around, I got more from somebody who went through not what I went through or whatever, but they could empathize with me more than the behavior specialist because she was young and didn't know nothing. Okay. That's what I was say that.
Okay, so maybe
I love my behavior. I love my
Right.
original behavior specialist, but I stopped going to counseling.
I want to go to one point that you just said. She didn't help me. Something else you said. She didn't something.
She went through it, or she can empathize.
She didn't empathize with me.
Right.
Counseling is not about the counselor empathizing with you and you trying to get something from them. It's you supposed to get it for yourself. That's the part. That's where counseling plays a part, because my therapist can sit there and not say nothing to me, and I can just go and go and go and go and go on. At the end, he'll say,
"You feel better?"
No, he won't ask me that. Mm-hmm. For a long time, I kept saying, the guy from Alaska that I was with, that's part of my book. I kept saying, I want to talk to him. I want to call him. I want him to be happy about this bit. He kept asking me, why you want to talk to him? Mm-hmm. Focus on that. Why is it that you want to talk to him? Because this is something that you're used to going back to, because it's comfortability. So it's not really about what they do for you. He never empathized with me. He did in some aspects, but I never went to him saying, I need you to empathize.
I never went to none of my counselors saying that. I went there for help, but you're not helping me.
But what did you want to get from therapy?
Help. I need solutions to my problems.
They don't give solutions.
Why are you going to therapy? Then just to talk, to pay. You're paying somebody to pay.
So
okay,
but it works for me.
But 90% of the people pay. So you just to talk. That's what I have girlfriends for.
But I'm just saying.
That's what I have God.
So
that's what I have God for.
Maybe she doesn't experience. Maybe she doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm coming to you for help. You gotta help me, right?
So wait.
All right. That's why we go to therapy. I'm sorry. I'm
Calm
sorry.
down.
We go to therapy to get help,
We're
not just to
supposed to go to
be.
therapy to get help,
Yes.
but they're not. They don't have to be empathetic about it.
No, I never said that.
You said
Can
she
I
wasn't
answer a question?
empathetic.
I said this one was able to give me the help that I need, whereas though this one I was just venting to.
I got a question for you.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
You
you
had a
gave us
question
the difference between both. One helped you, one
One
didn't.
didn't, right?
What did the one do that helped you and gave you the answers that you need for healing?
Because did they give you the answer, or did you give yourself the answer?
No, she answered a lot of my questions. It was her, because I didn't know why I was the way I am, and it took for her to pull out the things in me. I didn't know that I had a bleed in her. I didn't even know I was resilient until she told me these things about myself. So it was like it's not, I ain't gonna say it's like she co-signed or anything, but it was things inside of me, like I said, that I didn't know was there. Like she was the person who got the seed of the problem, and she still is getting the seed of the issues that I have, and we're still working it out.
It's a process.
So
It is a process.
So I mean, sometimes people say they gotta find the right person. So maybe like you said, she was inexperienced. She didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Keanu, you had a question. I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to ask the question about, because you were saying that you want a person to have experience, to been through there, done that. Do you mean like personally?
No.
They've been there.
Like, okay, for instance, if you've never been raped, and I hate to go that deep, forget that. If you've never tasted a strawberry, you can't tell me how strawberries taste. You can only give me your opinion on how strawberries taste. Whereas though she tasted the strawberry, so she know exactly what this strawberry tastes like.
Right. So do you?
So if I want strawberries,
like
no. If I want strawberries, I'm not gonna go to you for your help. I'm gonna ask her. Well, what did you think? And it's funny that I use that because that came from No More Sheets, so I need to buy them. The whole store, like, Laura, really, strawberries? Where did this come from? I want to deal with somebody that has not only experience, but they don't have to have that. They don't have to have been molested to be able to help me through it. They don't have to been raped or abandoned or beat or whatever to help me through it. They just have to go through something in life. If you never had a struggle in life, how could you help me with anything?
That's what
So
I was. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah, I get that part.
That's what I was trying to.
I don't know what my therapist been through.
That's
so,
what I was
so
trying to.
how do you equate that to? I don't go there and be like, have you been through this before?
You can tell when you've been in therapy as long as I have been, you can tell. You can tell. Some people do it for a paycheck. I don't want you to be my therapist just because you're getting paid for this. I don't want you to be my therapist because you really want me to break through and get through whatever it is I'm going through at the end of the day. Okay. I'm not just paying you to, you know what I mean? I'm paying you to help me. We don't ever have to be friends.
Okay. But we're gonna push forward because this is a whole nother conversation. And we're going to agree to disagree because there are some things you said in that comment that I don't agree with. I'm not sure if everybody agrees with. But at the end of the day, let's talk about how you got your book published. How about we do that?
She did all. Joy did everything.
All right. So what about your new book?
And I'm doing self-publishing and everything.
Through where?
What you mean through where?
Like where you self-publish?
I'm going to open my own self-publishing company.
Okay. And so you did. There is another book. So the book is going to be self-published through you.
Mm-hmm.
What about editing? And
I have an editor.
Some.
I have an editor. I don't know her name right off the bat. She edited this, and then she helped me with another project I was doing, and I told her I would hire her as my editor. But I really don't know her name off the bat, and I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this: you as a author.
Mm-hmm.
And we have people on the radio that are listening to us. Mm-hmm. They go on to know the steps you took to get published, because they may have a story they want to tell and may not know, how do I get published? She's an author. How do I get to that? What would you tell the listeners?
My first book, Jailhouse Letters, that I had got there published through somebody. I did my research. One thing about me, I do my research. I love the research. So I do my research on everything. And I researched different publishing companies like Author House and Press.com, all these different publishing companies. And I went with what fit best with me because, I deal with contracts. I was able to understand my contract when it came to the publishing of this book. So if you want to be published, I tell you to do your due diligence.
Okay.
research, or you don't want to come out as a self-publisher, do your due diligence on some people that you know are publishers. Like Facebook is full of publishers,
Right.
and authors and everything like that. So, but first and foremost, you gotta first write your book
Okay.
and get it in front of an editor and get it in format and then send it to a publisher that you're comfortable with. But my thing is, I tell everybody to keep their rights because you never know, your book might turn into a movie.
Okay. Follow-up question behind that. What editor would you suggest? What publishing company would you suggest?
I don't know the lady name offhand, and I'm sorry. I would have to give y'all that information. But it's the young lady that edited the book Crown. I love her spirit. I love who she is. As a person that loves her job, I definitely recommend her. As far as publishing companies go, you would have to do your research because, like I said, this time around, I'm going to publish my own book.
I have some other writers and authors that came on the show previously. They pretty much say the same thing. You gotta do your due diligence. It's what you want out of the book when you get it published. It's how you want to promote your book. Mm-hmm. Some people do Amazon but Amazon charges you a little fee once they publish your book. But you can sell your book online, or you could do Lulu, and Lulu you send them your cover, you send them your book, you send them everything. They send you a mock-up. They'll do it for it. There are a lot of websites that do that. It just depends on if you want to self-publish or if you'd rather a publisher publish for you. And it just depends on what kind of money you want to spend. There are different ways to publish your book, but like she said, do your due diligence. I really feel like people should research it. Research it into what it is that you want your book to do, what you want to spend money on, how you want to spend the money on it. There are so many ways that you can do different things with your book. Talk to other authors, talk to other writers, other publishers, people that have been published. You can contact me at, what's my name on Facebook? Yvette Williams, I guess. And I can give you some ideas into what other people have to, or send you to other authors or writers that have published, because I haven't published yet. But some things work for some people and some people don't. I know I had an author on before who's one of our radio show hosts, Pamela J. She's written a number of books. Mm-hmm. So when she started, she published with one company. Then she learned the system a little bit and she published with somebody different. So it just depends on what your book is doing, what you want your book to do. If you self-publish, if you don't self-publish. There's a lot of publishing
companies out there. Yeah. But the thing about self-publishing is you total in control with that. Yeah. But you gotta have the time. You have to have the time to set up your own book signage. You have to have the time to take your book on tour. Like say you're in Philly, you gotta go to New York and New Jersey and places, Maryland, like that, to promote your own book. That's the only thing that's really different. And the money, I feel like you save more money when you self-publish. And I said you keep all your rights because some of these publishing companies want you to write some of your rights to your book. And I'm like, why? You didn't do anything to get rights to my book.
Right. Mm-hmm. Y'all hear that?
Do nothing.
So they have to do their due diligence, whatever they feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like I said, I'm about to open up a publishing company.
Yeah, a lot of plans coming up. I keep hearing you just drop these little nuggets here and
I'll
there,
be trying, because you know what my best friend said? Both of my best friends, they say you got all this stuff, and when it comes to me, it's hard for me to execute what I want to do. But let you come to me and need help with you with whatever it is you want to do. I'm gonna help you execute it and put my stuff on back burner. That's horrible, right? I know. That's not so loud. That's a bleeding heart. That's a bleeding heart. I have a bleeding heart. That's what they say about me. I have a bleeding heart.
I have a question. And this might be going a little bit backward, and maybe you said it, but I don't remember. When did you turn to the point where you were like, okay, I want to start writing? And turning my pain basically into my passion. When did that happen?
I was always a writer. Always. Even as a child. Poetries. Sermons, like even as a child, I always loved English. So what made me finally get up and do it? My counselor.
Writing about herself. Because I feel like writing is healing. It's definitely healing. It's definitely healing. It's like none other. It's like healing like no other.
It is. But my counselor, the one who gave me that push to do the book and then to do the stage plays. It was my counselor who gave me that push. So shout out to Refresh Counseling Services.
So we're winding down, everyone. We're going to talk about, Dot's going to tell us how people can reach her on social media, her contact information, how they can purchase the book. how they can keep in contact with her to get the new book, all details about that.
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know?
My website
I
is.
don't want you to say you don't know. People
My
can contact
website is www.evol2productions.com. That's www.evol2productions.com. You can find me on Facebook, Dorothy.Harris, Twitter.Blessed, and Instagram .2. The book will be out before the end of 2020. What else you say? That's it.
How can they purchase the book?
You can purchase the book directly from me. Text me, call me 215-917-0147, and I'll autograph it for
Tell
you.
them how much the book is.
The book is $15.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is Crown. I got that?
Yes, the book is $15.
And this is a book called Crown. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, special thanks to my co-host tonight, Kiana from Healthy Tea Talk, and Miss Carolyn from Talking with Carolyn. Is that
That word was called Let's Talk with Carolyn, but that's okay.
It's in my notes at the top. But not at the end. I'm at the end of my notes. I'm getting better with this thing.
Oh, wait, they can also catch me every Wednesday on Sadior Radio.
Oh, right here on Sadior Radio. That'll be here every Wednesday from 4 to 6. Our show is called Dot's Inspirational Segments.
Yep.
All righty. So we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Sadior's Turning Pages. We appreciate the love and the support. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Bye,
Good night. Thanks for having me.
Deuces.
Bye, YouTube.
I'm putting my bun in.
Why was that so hard? It's
I don't know.
I gotta go rewatch
You gotta
that.
get used to having interviews.
Yeah.